You probably recognize that as O Come, Emmanuel, which we are singing here at St. Matthew's Church every Sunday in Advent as we light the Advent candles on the wreath. We will do that again this Sunday as we prepare for the celebration of Christmas, which is next week. Incidentally, we have our services on Christmas Eve at 7 p.m. and then Christmas Day at 9 a.m. The prophecy of Emmanuel is a central part of Advent. It goes back to the 8th century BC, when Israel was indeed in a very dark period of its history. Some years before, the country had been partitioned into two countries following the death of Solomon. The northern kingdom was called Israel. It had 10 tribes. The southern kingdom was called Judah with 2. Each had its own capital, Samaria to the north, Jerusalem to the south. Ahaz is king. But at this time in history, the country is in deep peril. To the east is a very large country called Assyria that was very militaristic and bent on conquering the known world. They had a huge army. They were sweeping up everything in their path and heading east towards Israel and Judah. The northern kingdom would be decimated by the invasion, and the 10 tribes would be lost forever to history. And as you may know, legends abound about what happened to them. The southern kingdom would survive, but just barely. Ahaz is on the throne. Isaiah is raised up as a prophet during this period. Ahaz thinks that the key to his survival and that of his country is to engage in political alliances, to find a country to become an ally with that would help him fend off the attack by the Assyrians. Isaiah tells him not to trust in political alliances, but to trust in God. As you can imagine, Ahaz is skeptical about this advice. And so Isaiah tells Ahaz to ask God for a sign, to confirm the prophecy. Ahaz, after some reluctance, agrees, and Isaiah gives to him the sign. And the sign can be found in the 7th chapter of Isaiah, the 14th verse, which I'll read to you. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. The sign was the birth of a child, a son, to a virgin or a young girl. His name would be Emmanuel, which means God is with us. That prophecy was considered to be fulfilled in the New Testament with the birth of Jesus Christ, where we learn that Israel is once again in a dark period in its history. It's been under foreign occupation for years, and most recently is under the heel of the Roman army. In a dream, an angel of God comes to Joseph, who is betrothed to a young girl by the name of Mary, who is pregnant. He is not the father. He is thinking about putting her away quietly, which is his right to do. But the angel of the Lord tells him not to do this, because the child that Mary will bear will be a son. His name is to be called Jesus, because he will save the people from their sins. And this will be a fulfillment of the ancient prophecy of Isaiah, that God would send a child, a son, to a virgin, who would be Emmanuel, meaning God is with us. Now, I need to tell you that there is some controversy about the translation of the passage in Isaiah 7:14 about the Hebrew word Alma, whether it really means virgin or simply a young girl. I'll leave that to my sermon on Sunday, and I have more to say about it at that time. But I think that the controversies about the translation of that passage miss the point. The point, it really is this, that the sign of God's faithfulness to his people comes to us in the form of a child born in Bethlehem, Jesus Christ. We are to be reminded of that every time we look at a young baby or a young child, for our hopes and dreams are so often connected to them and what we see in them and hope for them. Christmas is not about materialism, as we all know, although we often forget that. It's not about running up our credit card to the limit and buying gifts that we really can't afford, or reveling in our wealth and going to parties. All that is so much of what people think of Christmas as being. But Christmas is really about the hope that we have in God, and the sign that He gives to us of our hope being on solid ground when we put our hope in Jesus Christ, who came to us in the form of a child, born in Bethlehem, born to a virgin, a young girl, in a very obscure and quiet circumstance, whose birth would change the world. Here at St. Matthew's Church, we hope that you have a blessed and wonderful and a very Merry Christmas. And we hope above all that you put your trust in the Lord, in Jesus Christ, whose coming into this world so long ago was a sign to it that we can trust in God for our hopes and for our dreams for the future. Merry Christmas to you and to those you love. Thank you for watching.